The Ultimatum on Netflix season 1, and this was for the finale and the reunion. And I love this show. This show is fire. I really love this show. In fact, I'm about to issue my own ultimatum. I'm gonna send an ultimatum to all these other reality dating TV shows. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Y'all need to step up your game. I'm gonna leave an ultimatum. That's my ultimatum to all these other shows I review. Put a ring on it, Ready to Love, Married at First Sight. Y'all need to start bringing it like Netflix is bringing it. Because let me tell you, between Love is Blind and The Ultimatum, they in the lead. I'm telling you right now, they are in the lead. You know what I like about this show? One of the things I like about this show is it gets people where I think a lot of couples get stuck. And that is, are we going to break up or are we going to stay together and go on and get married? And I like that this show did that. The other thing I like about this show is I think what goes on with a lot of people. A lot of people think they're settling for someone else and they don't realize them people's also settling for you. And what you need to start doing is appreciating who you with and stop thinking about how you want to come up and get more. A lot of people on this show realize that they thought they was hot shit out here and they realize, you know what, maybe I'm not as hot as I think I am and maybe the person I'm with is a good catch. I think this show did a lot of that, and that actually needs to help for a lot of people out here dating. But I'm going to list the top 10 bombshells that happened on these 2 episodes, these last part, because there was a lot of them, and I'm just going to go in the order in which they came. Bombshell number 1, Shanique and Randall saying yes to each other. You know what? I thought they was going to say no. I really thought that Randall was going to go his separate ways. I didn't know if Shanique could change, because like I said, Shanique was really, really bossy. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Shanique runs over and runs Randall. And I really thought Randall should stand up a little bit more for himself, and Shanique needs to stop running over him so much. And I really thought they both should appreciate each other a little bit more. So bombshell number 1 was when the 2 of them even said yes to each other. But bombshell number 2 came right in the reunion when they broke up. I was like, what? So first of all, I'm surprised you even said yes and you engaged. Now all of a sudden you come to me telling me you broke up. That became my bombshell number 2. What the heck? And so they broke up and they said that they took a 6-month break. Shanique dated a few people. Randall said he really didn't date that much because, you know, he had a lot of family stuff going on, family deaths and things like that. But still, that was a bombshell for me that they said yes and then broke up. Then the bombshell number 3 for me was that Shanique and Zay really did sleep together. I thought maybe they just fooled around. Maybe some of you guys knew they slept together, but I thought maybe they was just rolling in the sheets. But we come to find out they did it all the way. That was bombshell number 3 for me. Shanique said she told Randall right away that she had done it, but if we find out that Zay didn't tell Ray that they had slept together, and Randall was okay with it, that in itself is a bombshell to me. I don't know if he was fully okay. That might have contributed to their breakup. Maybe Shanique felt guilty. I don't know. But I couldn't imagine the fact that Shanique slept with Zay wasn't a factor in their breakup. So they say they're trying to figure it out right now. It sounds like Randall's all in. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if they're going to make it to the altar. I hope they do because I love love. And I love to see couples be together. I love people to, go off and ride off into the sunset. But I don't know. These two, this back and forth, I don't know if they just need more time or if they're really just not the right person for each other. Bombshell number 4. Well, it wasn't a bombshell to me that April and Zake said no to April on the proposal. So that in itself was not a bombshell to me. But the bombshell to me was the fact that Jake and Ray are no longer together. That was a bombshell to me. I thought of all the couples out here, they were going to be the most solid. I really thought that they was going to ride off into the sunset. Bombshell number 5 was the fact that after they planned this big old trip anywhere in the world, they didn't even go on the trip. What the heck? You didn't even go on the trip. You didn't even give it a chance. To be honest with you, I think Zake and Ray suffered from a little bit of guilt because almost it was like they both left their partners. And I think they suffered from a little bit of guilt. And I think that kind of messed them up to even forming a relationship, a bond together. I don't know. To me, it just seemed like they both kept their heads down a little bit. It wasn't as if they was proud of their moments. And I think they both had a little bit of guilt. But bombshell number 6 was Ray saying she's bisexual. Oh my goodness. Now, as I look back, I said to myself, good Lord. So this girl was trying to figure out her relationship with Zay. She was also trying to figure out her relationship with Zake. And she's trying to figure out her own sexuality. My goodness, no wonder she looked so confused the whole series. This girl was trying to figure out a lot. Zay might be happy she said no to him because, you know, it sounds like she got a lot going on. And when someone is figuring out those types of things, what ends up happening, people end up being casualties of them trying to figure out stuff, especially their sexuality. And it seems as if Jake might be a casualty of Ray. Because even though Ray is saying right now that she's bisexual, I don't know. We found out she didn't even sleep with Jake. So who knows what she's going to end up with, a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And Zake is out here on a limb all by himself. Now, am I still happy that Zake and April went their separate ways? I am, because I don't think that they're a good match. And I'm happy for April. It sounds like she found a guy that she wants, that she loves, and she can go off and have kids. They're living together and everything like that. So I'm happy for that. So maybe it worked out the way it's supposed to work out. But that whole fight that Zay and Ray had on stage, and Ray was getting real, I guess she was just letting it out. I guess so much pent up aggression that she felt with Zay. But they're not a good couple. One is because I think Zay has a strong personality, and I think it's too much for Ray. I just think that when they have discussions, that his strong personality just crushes Ray. And you know what? He can't accept that she's a little bit more meek and mild, but that's just who she is. I think he would want her to be more assertive. He would want her to be more expressive, but she's not that. And so sometimes the approach he uses to pull her out of it, it actually can sometimes look a little bit like bullying. But let me tell you, Ray was going off on that stage. I think she was doing a little bit too much, but you know what? She was going off. I think it was her chance to finally speak up. And I'm glad she's starting to find her voice. It seems like Ray was lost in a lot of things, not just her voice, her sexuality, a lot of things. She had a lot of confusion going on in her life during this whole experiment. Bombshell number 7, that Madeline actually said yes to Colby. I was like, what? Madeline said yes after all of that shit she was talking about Colby, all that stuff. She's like she was putting Colby down at every chance. She actually said yes. That was a bombshell for me. Bombshell number 8, they got married. You mean on the spot they got married? A bombshell. The fact that not only did Madeline say yes, when Colby said, do you want to get married right here and now? She said yes to that too. That was a bombshell to me. I mean, Madeline was surprising me all over the place. And then bombshell number 9 at the reunion, that Madeline is pregnant. But you know, I started doing some little math. I was like, wait a minute. She seems like she's pretty far along. Next thing you know, they say she's 7 months pregnant. But listen, Jake said that the episode had just ended 6 months ago. So wait a minute. When did Madeline get pregnant? Did she get pregnant before she came on the show? I hope she and Randall didn't sleep together. And if they did, I hope they used some protection. Because I'm like, are we sure this is Colby's baby? I don't know. That timeline is iffy. So was this proposal and this wedding, was this a gunshot wedding? When Colby proposed to Madeline, did she already know she was pregnant? I got questions, y'all, on this timeline. Fill in this timeline for me if you got answers to my timeline questions. But you know one thing I like that person who married them. That woman said some really good things. It's stuff I'm always saying on my videos as a married woman, talking to other people who are thinking about getting married. And one of the things that lady said was, sometimes we need to meet the wrong people to meet the right people so that we're truly grateful. Because I see some people, sometimes they meet some really nice people and they just throw them aside. And I say, you're not grateful for what you have. A lot of people are nitpicking on their partners and they're not realizing that, you know what, you're not going to get a perfect person. Like that lady said, sometimes it's seeing the imperfect person perfectly. You have so many people out here waiting for the perfect person to come that they're throwing away perfectly good partners because of a few things they don't like about them. And that pastor or whatever she was so right. I really like what she said in the when she was marrying Madeline and Colby. Bombshell number 10 is that Lauren and Nate are still together. That's a bombshell to me because I thought they would have broken up by now. And this is horrible. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say it's horrible because Lauren has said that she will give Nate one baby for right now. And you know what? I don't believe it. I think Lauren is so afraid. And like I said, I do these other videos about marriage conversations. And one of the things I talk about is scary people shouldn't get married. And let me tell you, Lauren is scary. I don't know why she's agreed to give this baby. There's still some stuff going on with them. So to me, it is a bombshell that these two are even still together and that Nate hasn't gone off and found him another woman that really wants to have kids. I actually think Nate's a good person. I think he does want to have kids. And when they did that whole montage of how often he talked about kids, that was funny. I hope he saw that. I hope he isn't discounting what he wants just to stay with Lauren. I understand that he loves her and everything, but having kids is a big thing. I really wouldn't want him to compromise on that. You know things that weren't a bombshell, because those are my top 10 bombshells, but you know things that weren't a bombshell? Alexis still being salty, Alexis still being a nasty Alexis. She was jealous of Madeline when she rolled out pregnant. She barely could contain herself. She did say, I'm happy for her because that's what I would want, but she was jealous of that. She's always sticking her nose in things she shouldn't stick her nose in. She had a nasty little comment to say about Madeline accepting Kobe after Kobe went out and hooked up with some random woman because he said he was trying to experiment outside of the experiment. To be honest with you, maybe a lot of people have problems with Kobe, but I didn't, because it was an open relationship. Madeline, when you over here kissing and canoodling on Randall, that's an open relationship. And the fact that Kobe got left out and he couldn't have that with April, to me, you know what? So what? He did it with someone outside the show. So what? He should be sitting over here holding himself together while Madeline's over here really exploring. I didn't have no problem with what Kobe did. That's fine that he apologized and maybe the way he went about it, he said was wrong. But to be honest with you, they were in an open relationship. Let's be honest. So I don't have no bombshell with Alexis. I didn't really particularly care for her throughout the experiment, and I still don't care for her. So that was no bombshell for me. Listen, even editing, even the producers on this show did a wonderful job. Let me tell you something. Those montages they did of all the different people, the montage of April versus Ray twerking, loved it. The montage they did of Nate talking about the baby, love it. The montage they did of Jake talking about, I got dragged into this, love that too. The montage they did about April talking in third person, loved it completely. Let me tell you, even the editing and what they brought to it, it was hilarious and funny. And I think it really showed these people who they were on camera. And I think a lot of people learned a lot about themselves. I really do. And the other MVPs of this show are the hosts themselves, Nick, Lachey, and Vanessa. Let me tell you, I really like them as a host. And one of the things I like about them is they bring in real experience into their conversation with these couples. And that's what I like about this show. You have a married couple trying to explain to these couples that a lot of the stuff you guys are going through, this is what married people go through. I love the fact that Vanessa and Nick admitted that they've gone through each other's phones, because let me tell you, that happens in a lot of marriages. And people always talk about, if somebody went through my phone, I would drop them, I would leave them. Listen, a lot of couples have done it. People may not be like it, may be ashamed of it, but it happens often. And it doesn't mean that, you can't find your way back together. It doesn't mean that you don't love the person. It doesn't mean you can't get married. A lot of people use these types of things to say they can't get married. And I love the fact that Nick, Lachey, and Vanessa, they admit to things and say, listen, this was in our life as well. They talked about the kids situation, living together. They talked about breaking up and getting back together. They really admit to a lot of things that a lot of married people go through. And they are letting single people know that, listen, this is the truth about marriage. It doesn't mean you can't get married, but listen, it means you can't be a scary person. And when Madeline said one of the things why she was scared to marry Cole, because she felt she was giving up something, I like what Nick told her. And he was saying that, you know what, that is how a lot of people look at marriage. If they're giving up something, they're settling out here. You hear that word all the time. They're settling. And I did a video about marriage trade-offs. And I said, you know what, marriage is a trade-off. You sure may give up something over here, but you get so much more. So it's a trade-off. And I like that Nick Lachey said that. It says, yes, you think you're giving up something. You think you're going backwards. But in reality, you've taken on something and it actually propels you and makes you grow. So I love them as a host. What were some bombshells for you? And what did you think about the whole experiment? I can't wait until season 2. Talk to you later. Bye.